Hi, I'm Ashley, and I'd like to share something that I've written with you. It's called The Book That Could Change Our Lives. I wish that I could just be me. I'm not exactly sure what that would look like, but it just seems right. This, however, is impossible. Although I can choose what I eat for breakfast, what clothes I wear, who I talk to, how I spend my day, and to which higher being, if any, I hail to, I had no choice in the reality of the world that I live in. I didn't decide where most electricity, clothing, food, and water come from in America. I didn't decide what the social norms are. I should eat 3 meals a day, bathe often, have a job, carry a phone, listen to an iPod, watch a TV, sit in front of a computer, get married, make babies. Some of these ideas are natural to being human. I don't believe, however, that there's anything natural about how our civilized world goes about fulfilling most of these ambitions. At different times, I've thought that it was my destiny to hold a variety of titles, from dolphin trainer to doctor. My world taught that life should somehow have purpose beyond its own startling existence. Right now, however, I just want to love myself and my planet in the most primitive way possible. I could go and live away in the woods to seek this life. Maybe I'd even bring a lover or a small like-minded community. I could, but I can't. I'd be discontent and soon tire of my choice. Not because I was bored, but because I'd still know deep in my heart that the answer isn't leaving behind the things that I despise. Given the course we're on, those things would come and shake my log home with a rumble of entrance. I'd prefer to hear visitors approaching my porch by way of the soft crackle of breaking sticks and the crunch of stone under their tender feet. Society would enter with much more noise. The rush of dammed water, the blast of mountain tops, the stench of exhaust, the deafening chirp of phones. One of the things that I had aspired to be was a best-selling author. I'd nearly written a book, and it's pretty good, but I've been too busy to be famous. Too busy learning the stories of fellow survivors, and too busy lending a hand. I felt that it was my duty, after I was spared my life by the love and devotion of countless thousands, to share myself to others. I still feel that I have a debt to pay, but I've grown angry. I'm angry because I'm noticing that there are a lot of needless debts to be paid, and that they are forgotten. I could continue to work for different nonprofits or causes or people for the rest of my life, and honestly feel like I'm not making a difference. Because there are too many of us who knowingly or unknowingly are creating more and more debts. Some people think that slavery is over. Some people think it shouldn't have ended. Both mean that it still exists. There are more beings and entities than we can count that have no choice in the cards we've dealt. That's because most of us don't realize all the cards we play. To flip a switch and have a light means to blow up a million-year-old mountain, or poison to get out natural gas. To turn a blind eye to these realities is selfish and cruel. To wear a pair of pants means to subject countless people around the world to harsh working conditions and unfair wages. To eat a chicken nugget means to have an illegal immigrant who was lured from his home that we've tainted with bad business to the United States in promise of hope, to have him kill a chicken that has never even seen daylight or fresh grass. I work 2 jobs to make sure that the health care I might need if the cancer I didn't choose returns is available. I'm going back to school to get a master's in education because my bachelor's degree still lands me in a working society that has forgotten how to do business in a way that doesn't undercut someone or something else. Maybe it never knew how. Or I could wear myself out working for one of a million nonprofit organizations that are busy cleaning up so many messes that they hardly have time to figure out the cause. What this comes down to for me is a lot of paper and pen and a table that's lit by candlelight. I can't find myself, and I may never know who I was truly meant to be, because my eyes will always be clouded with tears. Tears from seeing people stripped of their dignity, our natural world cut up and sold, and our hearts locked behind doors of ignorance. I want to know who I am as a person and what my life on this earth was intended to be, but I can't. I can't because too many other people are blind to even wanting to source their inherent meaning on this living ground. Sleepwalking through life, taking and demanding without care or concern. Violence and greed are fueled by a lack of love. Please, wake up. Care where your comforts come from, where your food and water are sourced, how your body is cared for and clothed, who your neighbors far and wide are, and most importantly, who you really are. Care. Then I might be able to do the same. Last week I started an idea for myself called Hardline. Because although my lifestyle may tread more lightly than others, I realize that there's some hard choices in my life that I really need to make in order to allow future generations to not only exist, but to be able to see the beauty of their own being. Part of that hard line for me is finding the courage to share my frustrations. So I would hope that you can consider some of the things that I said, to ask questions, and mostly just to love. Because I believe that if we all just choose to take the hard line sometimes, most of the time, in the end, it's going to make for a softer blow. Thanks for listening.